What if the path to Alzheimer's isn't just decided by your genes, but by the small, seemingly harmless choices you make every day? The number of Americans living with Alzheimer's is projected to nearly double by 2060. But here's what the stats don't tell you. This isn't an inevitable part of getting older. In fact, up to 45% of dementia cases could be delayed, or even prevented by addressing modifiable lifestyle factors. That means the power to protect your brain is more in your hands than you might think. You could be unknowingly paving the way for cognitive decline with your daily routines. In this video, we're going to expose 5 of the most common habits that science shows are linked to a higher risk of Alzheimer's. More importantly, we're going to give you simple swaps you can make to start protecting your brain today. Now, let's start with the first habit, which might be on your daily menu. Before we dive in, I'm curious, what country are you watching from today? Let us know in the comments. It's always incredible to see how large our global health community has become. Number 1, diet that starves your brain. The first habit is fueling your body with foods that actively work against your brain. I'm talking about the modern Western diet, which is loaded with sugary snacks, ultra-processed meals, and high amounts of red meat. It's the easy choice for convenience or comfort, but inside your body, it can create a perfect storm for cognitive decline. Diets high in these foods are proven to increase inflammation and oxidative stress all over your body, especially in your brain. Autopsy studies of older adults show a direct link between these eating patterns and a higher number of amyloid plaques and tau tangles, the physical hallmarks of Alzheimer's disease. Think of it like this. You're consistently giving your brain low-quality fuel that clogs up its delicate machinery. The good news is, the solution isn't some miserable, restrictive diet. It's about making a strategic swap. Research has consistently shown that dietary patterns like the Mediterranean diet or the MIND diet are powerfully protective. Following the MIND diet, for example, has been associated with up to a 53% reduced risk of Alzheimer's and a much slower rate of cognitive decline. So, what's the simple swap? Don't focus on taking things away. Focus on adding brain-protective foods. The MIND diet specifically emphasizes adding green leafy vegetables like spinach and kale, a serving of berries at least twice a week, nuts, olive oil, whole grains, fish, and beans. Start with just one small addition. Maybe it's a handful of berries with your breakfast, or a side of leafy greens with your dinner. Every small swap is a powerful step away from inflammation and toward a nourished, resilient brain. Number 2, danger of the sedentary rut. The second habit has quietly woven itself into the fabric of modern life, sitting too much. You might go to the gym for an hour, but what about the other 8, 10, or even 12 hours spent in a car, at a desk, or on the couch? Many people think their daily workout cancels out all that sitting, but science says that's not the case. Being sedentary is an independent risk factor for dementia, even if you exercise regularly. Let's look at why. A sedentary lifestyle does a few dangerous things to your brain. First, it reduces blood flow, meaning less oxygen and fewer nutrients reach your brain cells. Second, it's linked to a higher risk of conditions like type 2 diabetes, which is a major risk factor for Alzheimer's. Poor glucose control can damage the tiny blood vessels in the brain and interfere with its ability to clear out toxic proteins. And finally, studies have found that lots of sedentary time is linked to reduced brain volume, particularly in the hippocampus, the area crucial for memory. You are, quite literally, shrinking your memory center by sitting still. The solution isn't just to exercise more, but to sit less. Of course, regular physical activity is critical. Aim for at least 150 minutes of moderate activity a week, like brisk walking or cycling. This level of activity can boost something called brain-derived neurotrophic factor, or BDNF, which is like fertilizer for growing new neurons, and it can lower your dementia risk. But the most crucial swap here is to break up your sitting time. Set a timer to get up and walk around for a few minutes every hour. Take your phone calls while pacing. Do some simple stretches at your desk. It's not about running a marathon. It's about consistently fighting back against the stillness that is secretly undermining your brain health. Studies show that walking has positive effects on hippocampal volume, which is vital for memory. Number 3, sacrificing sleep for productivity. The third habit is one our culture often wears as a badge of honor: sacrificing sleep. We live in a world that glorifies the hustle, where sleeping less is seen as a sign of dedication. But the scientific reality is that consistently skimping on sleep is one of the most direct ways to invite Alzheimer's disease. Here's why it's so dangerous. During deep sleep, your brain activates a remarkable self-cleaning process run by the glymphatic system. Think of it as the brain's nightly janitorial crew. This system flushes out metabolic waste that builds up while you're awake, including the beta-amyloid proteins that form plaques in Alzheimer's disease. When you cut your sleep short, you're essentially telling the cleanup crew to go home early. The trash doesn't get taken out, and night after night, those toxic proteins can accumulate, accelerating the disease process long before any symptoms appear. Do you ever feel forgetful or moody after a night of poor sleep? That's an immediate sign your brain didn't get the restoration it needed. Chronic sleep deprivation isn't just about feeling tired, it's a state of neurological jeopardy. The solution is to reclaim your sleep and treat it as a non-negotiable part of your health. The science is clear: aim for 7 to 9 hours of quality sleep per night. The swap is to trade your one more episode or late-night scrolling habit for a wind-down routine. Turn your bedroom into a sleep sanctuary. Make it cool, dark, and quiet. Avoid screens for at least an hour before bed, as the blue light can disrupt your body's natural melatonin production. Try to go to bed and wake up around the same time every day, even on weekends, to regulate your internal clock. Prioritizing sleep isn't lazy. It's one of the most proactive things you can do to protect your future mind. Number 4. The comfort of autopilot and isolation. The fourth habit is a double threat: living on mental autopilot and letting your social connections fade. It's the habit of sticking to the same rigid routines, never challenging your mind, and slowly drifting into social isolation. It's comfortable and requires little effort, but for your brain, comfort is the enemy of resilience. The science behind this is fascinating and centers on a concept called cognitive reserve. Think of your brain like a muscle. When you challenge it with new and complex activities, you build new neural pathways and strengthen existing connections. This creates a denser, more robust brain network. This cognitive reserve doesn't stop the physical damage of Alzheimer's from happening, but it allows your brain to function better for longer, even in the face of that damage. It's like having a backup road system when the main highway is blocked. Social engagement is a complex mental workout, forcing your brain to process language, emotion, and memory in real time. Studies confirm that social isolation is a significant risk factor for dementia, partly because it robs the brain of this essential stimulation. The solution is to intentionally break your routine and actively seek out connection. The swap is to trade passive entertainment for active engagement. Instead of watching another hour of TV, spend that time on a puzzle, reading a challenging book, or learning a few words in a new language. Take a different route on your daily walk. These small novelties are like push-ups for your brain, and just as importantly, prioritize social connection. Call a friend instead of sending a text. Join a club, a class, or a volunteer group. Major studies like the Finger Trial have shown that combining cognitive and social activities with other lifestyle changes can significantly reduce the risk of cognitive decline. It's about building a life that is as rich and engaged as it is healthy. Number 5. Ignoring body's warning lights. The final habit is perhaps the most insidious: ignoring the health of your heart and blood vessels. This is the habit of thinking that high blood pressure, high cholesterol, and high blood sugar are problems for later. But when it comes to your brain, later is often too late. The saying, "what's good for the heart is good for the brain," is a profound medical truth. Here's the science. Your brain is an incredibly vascular organ, filled with a dense network of tiny blood vessels that deliver the oxygen and glucose it needs to function. Conditions like high blood pressure, diabetes, and high cholesterol damage this delicate plumbing. This damage starves brain cells and contributes directly to cognitive decline and vascular dementia. The 2024 Lancet Commission report highlighted this by adding high LDL cholesterol as a key modifiable risk factor. In fact, managing these vascular risk factors, along with quitting smoking and limiting alcohol, could prevent or delay a huge portion of dementia cases. Think about it this way: ignoring your vascular health is like allowing the irrigation system for a vital garden to get clogged and rusty. Eventually, the plants will wither and die. The swap here is to trade ignorance for awareness. Know your numbers. Get regular checkups to monitor your blood pressure, cholesterol, and blood sugar levels. Work with your doctor to manage them through diet, exercise, and medication if needed. If you smoke, quitting is one of the single most powerful things you can do for your brain health, as smoking dramatically increases your risk for all types of dementia, so moderation is key. Taking control of your vascular health isn't just about living longer, it's about living better with your mind and memories intact. Let's get a simple, real-life plan to stay away from Alzheimer's. So, if you're wondering, what can I actually do starting tomorrow to protect my brain? The answer is simpler than most people think. First, eat in a way that feeds your brain, not just your stomach. Your brain thrives on steady blood flow, antioxidants, and healthy fats. Build your meals around vegetables, especially leafy greens, along with berries, beans, whole grains, nuts, olive oil, and fish. These foods help calm inflammation, support blood vessels, and protect neurons from damage. You don't need perfection. Even following this pattern most days of the week has been linked to slower cognitive decline. Think of every meal as a small investment in your future memory. Second, move your body in a way that keeps blood flowing to your brain. Walking daily is one of the most powerful and underrated brain protective habits. It improves insulin sensitivity, lowers blood pressure, and supports the hippocampus, the brain's memory center. Combine regular movement with frequent breaks from sitting. Your brain doesn't just need exercise, it needs circulation throughout the day. Third, protect your sleep like it protects your brain because it does. Deep sleep is when your brain clears out toxic proteins associated with Alzheimer's. Make sleep a priority, not a luxury. Aim for consistent bedtimes, limit late-night screens, and create a calm nighttime routine. Good sleep isn't just rest, it's neurological maintenance. Fourth, keep your mind and social life active. Learn new things, change routines, read, solve problems, have conversations that challenge you, stay connected to people. Social interaction isn't optional for brain health. It's one of the strongest defenses against cognitive decline. A stimulated brain builds resilience over time. Finally, respect your body's warning signs early. Manage blood pressure, blood sugar, and cholesterol. These aren't just heart numbers. They directly affect the brain's blood supply. Take them seriously in midlife, not after symptoms appear. What protects your arteries protects your memory. The most important thing to understand is this: Alzheimer's doesn't begin with memory loss. It begins quietly, years earlier, through daily habits repeated over time. And that's also where prevention begins. So, there you have it. 5 seemingly innocent daily habits that can secretly pave the way for cognitive decline: a pro-inflammatory diet, a sedentary lifestyle, poor sleep, mental and social stagnation, and neglecting your vascular health. The most important takeaway from all this is a message of empowerment. Notice that each of these 5 points is a habit. And habits aren't destiny. They are choices that, with awareness and consistency, can be changed. You have the power to stop inviting Alzheimer's and start building a brain that is resilient, healthy, and sharp for decades to come. The process doesn't start with a giant leap, but with a single, simple swap. If you found this video valuable, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe for more science-backed health content, and share it with someone you care about. Now, for the most important part, what is the one habit you are going to start changing today? Let us know in the comments below. Let's start this journey together.